Question 4 is asking about genetic characteristics. Height, okay, that's inherited. You get that from your parents. And there's a range, okay? And by looking at your different students, you see that they're different heights. Whether you have a scar or not, okay, that's not genetic. You acquire that throughout your life. Hopefully you don't, because hopefully you don't get hurt. A widow's peak is the hairline that looks like this, okay, where like you have hair and it kind of goes like this, as opposed to more of a straight type of hairdo. Okay, so let's pretend that's your hair. Whether your thumb is straight or not, so okay, mine is kind of bent, kind of straight, but some people's thumbs are really, really bent. They are like that. Okay, so whether you have a straight thumb or not, this is what's called discrete variation. Okay, where you are or you're not. You have it or you don't. So this is yes or no. This is yes or no. Either you have it or you don't. Okay, so these are discrete variation. These are discrete variation, continuous and not genetic. So let's see what the question is. Which of the following characteristics is heritable? Okay, inherited. So not that one. And exhibits continuous variation. Okay, circle that. This one. Right, because these are one of the other discrete variation. Number 5. Adult process 1. Okay, this is meiosis because we're making some sex cells. Meiosis. Sex cells unite, that would be fertilization. Okay, so sperm and egg, or pollen and ovule. And then you have the baby. Okay, the first chunk of cells, this is a zygote. Then this next process to get the embryo is mitosis. Okay. Oh, she stepped on my foot. Mitosis. So meiosis, let's go with this. Process 2, fertilization. Process 3, mitosis. So it's C. Okay. Number 6. Sam wants to increase the milk produced by cows. Okay, so you take the 10 that are the best at it, and you choose them to get married and have babies for the next generation. Okay, so if you've chosen them, that is not natural. Okay. Is it genetic engineering? Not really. Okay, no CRISPR technology, no DNA and cells involved. Artificial selection, yeah. Okay, or selective breeding is another word for it. Okay, so we just said not that one. Not that one. And then asexual reproduction doesn't work for cows, right? You need sperm and egg. Okay, so that one. Okay, so usually with these 4 words, the answer is not always extirpated, but quite often it is, because people have usually heard of extinct before, like dinosaurs and the dodo birds, okay, where there's none anywhere on the entire planet. Their species is completely gone. Threatened is when we're a little bit worried about their population. Endangered is when we're more worried about their population. Critically endangered is when we're really, really worried about how many are left. Okay, because they're almost extinct. But this one is about wolves. So in Yellowstone, people hunted all the wolves and they were extinct in that area. Okay, that means there were none left at all in Yellowstone until they used the Canadian wolves and reintroduced them. Okay, so they were extinct in that area. Okay, and then they put them back. Which of the following statements has to do with abundance of species in different regions? Okay, so in class I go over this because not everybody knows that at the equator, that's where the jungles are, and some people say, oh yeah, but the Africa Sahara Desert is close to the equator. Yeah, but so is the Congo jungle, okay, and the Amazon rainforest. Okay, so we have the greatest diversity, most different kinds of species near the equator. Okay, so greatest diversity greatest abundance. So if you don't know what abundance means, ask. Okay, say that's the amount. Abundance means to have a lot of different species. Okay, near the poles, yeah, there's still polar bears and penguins, but not nearly as many different species as there are near the equator. Okay, so we'll go with that one. Last two questions here. Okay, both of these questions go with the graph. So technically, this at the top says what questions to use the information for, 9 and 10. Okay, so there's an experiment. They use barley seeds, it's a kind of plant seeds, okay? And what they do is they use just water only to get the seeds to start growing. That means germinate is when they start growing. And they didn't work as good. Okay, they didn't start growing as good. It takes longer for these seeds to germinate when you use the water and bacteria solution. Okay, this has to do with the mass. So over time, the amount of barley plants actually grew better in terms of the amount. So they germinate more slowly, and they start growing more slowly, but there's more of them at the end of the 37 days. Okay, so in your information given, your control group is being treated with water, and what you changed was treating the water and bacteria. Okay, so time, no, that's the same, 37 both times. Okay, that would be a control. Type of potting soils, I didn't even talk about it, but they probably kept that the same. Dry mass, that was the result. Okay, so that would be the responding variable. And then the solution, right? So water versus this kind, that's manipulated. That's what you've changed in the experiment. Okay, and then the answer here is compared to the control group. These guys make slower germinating and more massive crops. Okay, so B and B.